Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to the Summer of Isaac unboxing, I guess. So in any case, last time we did one of these, we got, what is it? I believe it was the Edmund booster pack, pretty sure. So yeah, you guys don't know, every month they're doing one of these, so, which is great. But essentially, the first month was the Edmund booster pack, if I remember correctly, which, because my memory's terrible, I'll be perfectly honest with you. But the first one was the Edmund booster pack, which had all things themed around Edmund's various games that he's made and or is currently making. And a lot of them are fun. I didn't understand the references behind a lot of them, but I should be able to understand what this one is, because this one is an alt art card pack. So essentially what this is I think I've unboxed a couple of alt arts already. Actually, I know I did on stream. But essentially what this is a collection of alt art cards, and they all have unique mechanics for those alt art cards. So that's fun. But in any case, there's not a whole lot I can say about that other than that. So I'm just gonna open them. Okay, there we go. And we're going to see what's in here, because I honestly have no idea, because I didn't look at the spoilers that Edmund was posting on his Twitter, so I don't really know what's what. But I can tell you there's a really fun story about this one, that it came in a massive box, when it really didn't need to. It could have come in like a padded envelope or something, but they sent it to be in a box, with a bunch of padding and stuffing and all those other things in it to make sure it's safe during transport. It didn't really need one. You could have sent it in a padded envelope or something, because they make those. I don't know why they sent it in a box, of all things, but that's what happens. Yeah, we've got we've got a bunch of alt arts. We got monsters, we got playable characters, and they all have unique and I should mention the monsters in particular have unique mechanics that I'm kind of interested in looking into. But these are all made by alternate artists that aren't the usual Binding of Isaac 3 Souls artists. So they look really distinct from everything else. In any case, here's the Hoarder. He is, I believe, what is it? Tainted Cain. And I believe, and essentially he works exactly the same as regular Cain. He's just a different art. But look at the art. I like the art. The art is cool. If I can, it's trying to do a face recognition thing, my camera, but it can't figure that out because, you know, face recognition software and all that is a struggle sometimes. Now, but in any case, we also have the Miser, who is, I believe, Tainted. I want to say he's Tainted Keeper. I want to say. Yes, he is Tainted Keeper. Okay. But in any case, it's the exact same as the regular Keeper, just with an alt art card. These first couple of them, admittedly, aren't that interesting. Because they're literally just, you know, alt arts for characters we already know how they work. Because you can't really change the fundamental rules behind how characters work too terribly without it being, because, you know, they're all designed to play the same. To an extent, you pick a card. They all have the same general stats. It's with one notable exception being the loss, of course. But they all have the same general stats. They all have a starting item that you're able to use once. You know, those kinds of things. So they can't really change too significantly how the playable characters work, because that would break the game a little bit. So it makes a bit of sense that they would just be the character, but again. But in case, we have the Adversary. And this is where we kind of get into some of the more unique mechanics, because a lot of these have unique ideas behind them and how they work. I believe they work differently from how they normally do. But in case, this guy has 5 health, 3 evasion, and 1 attack. At the start of each turn, each player chooses a different number between 1 and 6 in turn order. Till the end of turn, each time a player rolls the chosen number is rolled, they take 1 damage. So this essentially means that you have to be careful about what you roll, because if you don't, you're going to get hit more than you would normally get hit. This guy's not particularly hard, but because you can call another roll to deal damage. But you have to pick one randomly. So I'm assuming if you get unlucky and you roll under what it's supposed to be, it will kill you outright, which makes sense. because that seems to be how that works. But we also have the Bloat, who is always a delight. He's always fun. We love the Bloat. Not really. We hate him a lot, significantly. I should mention that. He is not a fun boss to fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Edmund has made him more difficult for players of the card game. The Bloat, 4 health, 4 evasion, 2 attack. Each time a monster dies, this deals 1 damage to each other monster and each player. Mean. Okay, so focus on him is essentially what that was. Yeah, this guy has... So if I'm reading this correctly, don't focus on other monsters if they're on the field. Kill this guy first because he's going to attack everything else. So that's important. Alright, so that is mean. The Bloat forces you to focus on him, otherwise he attacks everything. And also, he kills you if you whiff your rolls. So be careful with him. He's mean. I don't like that one. That's mean. That's really mean. Like, I'm thinking through that a bit. He deals 2 damage, so he kills you if you whiff your roll. But then he also deals damage to everything if you attack something other than him, which incentivizes you to fight him, which means he's probably going to kill you a whole bunch. That's mean. But it's the Bloat, so that's unfortunately in character for him. But in any case, Conjoined Fatty, I like the art style with it. It's a little bit gross, but I like the art style with him. But in any case, Conjoined Fatty, 3 HP, 3 evasion, and 1 attack. Each time a player plays a loot card, put a counter on this. Each time this would take damage while it has counters on it. Prevent it, remove a counter from this, and the active player loots 1. Ooh! Okay. So you can buff this guy's rewards by playing the game normally. Interesting. That's actually a really fun mechanic. I like that. That's really fun. But in any case, we got Conquest. Everybody loves Conquest. Conquest, if you guys don't know about the game, there's the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. One of the alternate names for one of them, I forget, is Conquest. And so they made him into a separate character. I don't really know the context of it, but they made him into a separate version of the character. But in any case, here's the alt art, so you guys can see it in the camera. There you go. Alright, in any case, Conquest. 3 HP, 3 evasion, 1 attack. When this dies, the active player must make an additional attack against another player. They have 4 evasion for the attack. Okay, so this just incentivizes the idea of, cooperation is optional because this guy forces you to attack somebody else, which makes sense. Obviously in the game, you can cooperate with other players, but you don't have to. And this guy's been like, well, actually, now you need to not cooperate with other players. If I die, someone else is going down with me. But that's fun. In any case, we've got another alt art for Dogma. Because I think Dogma has like 3 or 4 now. Actually, I think this is his 3rd one. I'm pretty sure. Because Dogma has a standard one, which is the one you're supposed to summon. He gets attacked and he gains... what is it? He gains the ability... When he dies, he's supposed to summon a card outside the game, which you're then supposed to fight, and he triggers you into a whole boss. And then there's the alt one from the Unboxing of Isaac, which doesn't do that, but is meaner by comparison. So I'm curious what this one does. In any case, Dogma, 4 HP, 4 evasion, and 4 attacks. So if you with your rolls, he's killing you. Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense to me. He is supposed to be the quote-unquote final boss of the Binding of Isaac, so that makes sense. In any case, each time a player rolls a 1, put each other monster into discard. When this dies, the active player puts an eternal counter on an item. Okay, and eternal counters give the ability Eternal. So you can gain eternal items by farming this guy, essentially. I think he goes in the discard, but you can pull things out of discard. So you can farm this guy for eternal items, potentially. It depends on if you're able to pull it out of the discard pile, but that's potentially useful because you can get a second eternal item from that. That can be cool. That can be useful. But in case, Gemini. Everybody loves Gemini's fun. He's a little bit mean in the game, but he's fun to fight against because depending on what version, whether or not you fight the Contusion or Satur first, he gains different attacks. But also only if you interestingly kill Satur first. No, if you kill Contusion first, that's what gives Satur bonus attacks. But it doesn't work the other way around, which implies that one is more dependent on the other. It's interesting. It's an interesting idea for a boss. But in any case, Gemini, 3 HP, 4 evasion, 1 attack. When this reaches 1 HP, put a heart counter on a monster chosen at random. Then put an attack counter on a monster chosen at random. So he just randomly buffs monsters if he gets low enough on his health. That kind of makes sense given how he works. So I am not particularly... Again, I just explained how he works, so that kind of works for the character. I like that. In any case, Headless Horseman. Here's the card. Headless Horseman. You guys can see the alt art, hopefully. There we go. Headless Horseman, 2 HP, 3 evasion, 1 attack. If this would die, except on an attack, an attack and roll of 6, prevent death. This heals to full health, gains 1 evasion and one attack till the end of the turn, and the active player gains its rewards. Okay, so this guy gets meaner the more you kill him, unless it's an attack roll of 6. Okay, that makes sense, because this also makes sense for the character. Because you guys don't know, the Headless Horseman is technically 2 monsters, where if you kill the body or the head first, the body and the head just keep, the respective body part keeps fighting you. So it makes sense that he would just get a full revive unless you roll a 6. That works. Alright, so in any case, we still got a couple of monsters left to go. Ooh, here's a fun one. Hush! If I can, the light's reflecting off it. There we go. This should be a fun one. Because, okay, Hush. 6 HP, 1 evasion, and 1 attack. Damage this would take is reduced to 1. If an attack roll made against this is less than or equal to the last attack roll made against it this turn, the roll counts as a miss. Oh. Okay. Well, this I actually really like. By virtue of the fact that base Hush is kind of the weakest epic boss in the game. Like, I'll give you he comes, I'm pretty sure he came as a bonus for as a bonus stretch goal for the unboxing for the original Binding of Isaac 4 Souls Kickstarter. So he came in the game for people who, who backed the Kickstarter. He was a bonus character, and he's a super boss that was exclusive to that version of the game. But unfortunately, he is not very good at being a super boss, because he literally is just tanky and with a lot of health. He doesn't have any unique mechanics like other epic bosses do. He doesn't do anything. This one actually fixes that problem, because this guy, not only does he take reduced damage to 1, which negates the need for a high evasion, but he also has a unique mechanic where he gains a unique evasion where you have to roll low rolls on him, otherwise you're not going to be able to kill him. That is very interesting. So you have to roll low on him, or he's not gonna die. I like that. That makes him a lot more interesting as a boss. I like that one a lot, because unfortunately, yeah, as I said, base Hush not very good. That one, this fundamentally fixes the problem. The problem being that he has no unique ability, whereas he's just hard. But, which also makes him one of my preferred epic bosses to play in the game, because, he doesn't have any unique abilities you need to memorize. Just hit him as hard as you can and eventually he'll die. Whereas this one, you have to actually think strategically. I like that. In any case, we've got Krampus. Everybody loves Krampus. Krampus is cool. I like the legends of Krampus and all that. Because a lot of people, I think one of the things I want to talk about is that a lot of Hollywood people get Krampus wrong. Unfortunately, there's very few movies that actually portray Krampus correctly, because Krampus in the obvious, folklore thing is that in the folklore he's based on, he is essentially the guy who's responsible for punishing naughty children. Obviously, and this was like in the really early days of Santa Claus, before we knew Santa as we know him now, back when he was still, in the early days, back when it was an actual guy, which was a long time ago. That was what Krampus was. He was told in the stories of Saint Nicholas, and was, his partner who punishes the bad children while Saint Nicholas rewarded the good. Obviously, modern day Santa does all of that on his own now. So Krampus just kind of got defaulted into this evil Christmas creature who just shows up and is an asshole for no reason. They don't explain. There's nothing, and that unfortunately makes me very sad, because there's very few people who can actually find something creative to do with Krampus nowadays, because he doesn't tie into the modern ideas of Christmas anymore. And that makes me very sad. They just make him this evil demon creature. And it's really unfortunate. And there is one movie I actually do want to watch, titled Krampus, which actually explores Krampus in an interesting way, and that's they obviously fixed the idea of Krampus by pointing out that Krampus doesn't punish naughty children anymore. He punishes people who's lost their Christmas spirit, which I like as a concept, and I want to see that movie at some point. I will maybe do a watch along of it or something when, during the Christmas season, when it's a little bit closer to that. It is a horror movie though, but still, I want to watch that movie. But in any case, Krampus. Fine, we're getting into the actual card now. Krampus, 5 HP, 4 evasion, 1 attack. At the start of each turn, each player votes naughty or nice. If naughty wins, the active player must attack this turn. Each time the attacking player rolls the same attack roll, resulting twice in a row on the same turn, this deals 1 damage to each other monster. Wait, did I read that correctly? Rolls the same attack roll. Okay, if you roll the same thing twice, he damages monsters for you. That's pretty interesting. But also, you don't have to fight this guy. I find that interesting. You have to vote on it, and then you have to vote on it, and whoever. So it's like you vote naughty or nice, or that's interesting. That's very interesting. How is that going to work in an actual game? That's very interesting. But that works for the character. I like that. And then we have Mother. Mother is also one of the other quote-unquote final bosses of the game. So I am curious what they did with her. I know she has her own card, but I'm curious. Because she has an ability where she will actually get her stats buffed every time she's attacked. Meaning she can gain upwards of a +6 evasion, which makes it really, really hard to kill her the more you damage her, which is mean. I initially thought it was like a +8 and you needed items to hurt her, but no, that makes a bit more sense because you can't roll an 8 naturally. So it makes sense that it would just get buffed up to a 6, and that's what you need to worry about. In any case, Mother, 8 HP, 1 evasion, 2 attack. Before each attack roll against this is rolled, the players to the active players left and right choose a number between 1 and 6. If the next attack roll is one of those numbers, it counts as a miss. Ooh! So you just randomly pick a number, and that's what her evasion thing is? That's kind of cool. So yeah, and then obviously she gives you 2 souls if you kill her, which is fun. I like this. This is a fun idea for a community thing, because they just have to pick a number between 1 and 6, which is fun. It could result in some really fun, builds and stuff like that, and tricks. But that's about it. But in any case, time to get to the guy who's on the box art for this, or I guess Rainmaker. He is actually unique to Repentance and the mod that came before that he was in. But yeah, if you guys don't know, Repentance was originally a mod, and then Edmund liked it so much that he reached out to the original developers of the mod and made it an official expansion to the Binding of Isaac, which I really, really like. I'm curious if Edmund will do that with more mods in the future, but he has also said that it'll be that Repentance is probably going to be the last one. But he also said that about Afterbirth Plus, and then he reached out to the mod developers and made Repentance. So I take that with a grain of salt. He may or may not do that again. But in any case, the Rainmaker I like because he's just a felt little puppet. I like this. But in any case, 3 HP, 4 evasion, 0 attack. How does this guy work then? This has +1 for each curse the active... Oh! Okay, this is +1 for each curse the active player controls. When an attack is declared on this, reveal cards from the top of the monster deck until you reveal a curse card, gain it, and then put the rest of the best on the bottom deck in the random order. Okay, so he... Not only does he become more powerful the more unlucky you are with curses in the game, but he literally puts a curse on you if you don't have one, meaning you have to fight him with a curse active. I like that. That's fun. That's mean, of course, because you know nobody likes curses in the game. If you get stuck with a curse, you're pretty much stuck with it till you die. At which point it gets punted off to the next player in the row, and then the cycle repeats. But that's fun. I like that idea. But we're almost getting to the end now. We have War. I'm curious what they did with War, but I like his art a lot. I like the alt art. But in any case, War. What is he good for? I don't know. Probably nothing. But in any case, War. 4 attack, 3 evasion, 4 HP, 3 evasion, 2 attack. At the start of each turn, put a counter on another monster chosen at random. Okay, so he has a similar ability to Gemini, but he does it at the start of every turn instead of having lowered his health lowered. Makes sense because War is aggressive. That's the kind of the point of the character. That makes sense. And finally, last but not least, we have the Widow. And I like the art for this one a lot. This one, it looks kind of like some sort of eldritch horror, and I love that. But, in any case, the Widow. 3 HP. I can't really read its stats all that well because the art is covering it, but whatever. 3 HP, 5 evasion, 1 attack, I think. But in any case, at the start of each turn, put a spider counter on a character chosen at random. Then the active player rolls for each spider counter on their character. 1 of 3 take damage. Okay. Each character without a spider counter has floop. Remove a spider counter from this. Okay. Alright. So, am I reading this correctly? So, it puts a spider counter on you. You roll a 1 to a 3 at the start to see if you take roll to see if you take damage if you have a spider counter onto you. And then I'm understanding it a little bit better. It can place a spider counter multiple times on the same person if they get unlucky, because it's chosen at random. And then they have to roll for every single counter they have on their character. And then you can also reduce the spider counters because you gain an ability that enables you to do that. So eventually you can get rid of them, but only if this thing isn't active, which means you have to kill it to get rid of them. Okay, that's mean. But overall, these are some fun cards. The player ones not so much, but the monster cards are a lot of fun. But the we've got characters that randomly buff stats, characters that force you to roll all the way to the damage, and you need to kill, which incentivizes you killing it. A character that forces a monster that forces you to have a curse in order to fight it. Then you got Krampus, which can be optional, but he makes you vote naughty and nice, and if naughty wins, you have to fight this thing, which is cool. Hush, which completely fixes the card in general. That was something that was not great with standard Hush. I like that. We've got a character that can't die unless you roll a 6. Gemini, who randomly buffs a monster when his health is low. Dogma, who once again he does some final boss shenanigans, but gives you Eternal. Conquest forces you to attack a player. Conjoined Fatty buffs his own rewards. Bloat is just terrible. And the adversary is you. Yeah, and then you pick. And okay, there's a couple here that where you have to pick a number, and that's what you roll. But overall, there's a lot of unique mechanics in here. Some of them are the same. Most of them are different. I like these monsters a lot. These are really but overall, I like all the alt arts. This was a fun pack to have unboxed or unpackaged or whatever you call it. The point being, there's a lot of fun to be had here. I like a lot of obviously some of them overlap, but a lot of them are unique to the character and make sense for the character. So I do like a lot of these, and obviously buffing Hush was needed because he was a little bit overdue for a buff. So I am happy of the fact that he has a buff now. Like there's now a buffed version of him that is harder, and he needed that desperately. So I feel like that was the perfect opportunity to do that. Just give him an alt art that changes his abilities and all that. I like that. But in any case, that's gonna do it for the the Summer of Isaac unpackaging, I guess, because I don't really know what to call these, and I probably will not figure it out by the time we're done with these because there's only 3 of them. But these are interesting and fun, and I like them a lot. But honestly, these are definitely going to be slotted in regularly into my games so that I can play with them a little bit more. They're unique and interesting. I like a lot of these, and I like the art of a lot of these. I know I'm repeating myself, but these are really good. This is a really good pack overall. I do recommend it. Especially since it spices up, adds some variety to your game, which is always great. But in any case, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Summer of Isaac. Next month is the last one. I forget what the last one is. I'm sure it'll be revealed shortly-ish because I know how Edmund's doing these. He reveals the art. He reveals the package art for all 3 of them. In each month. Then he goes over what's in them, and then they become available to us as players so that we can put them into our games. So the next one, I don't know what it is yet. It'll come when it comes. So we'll see that. I'll see you guys when it does finally arrive. But I need to pre-order it. It'll come in the mail. I'll do the unboxing, and then that'll be it. But I am happy to have some more Binding of Isaac content, Binding of Isaac 4 Souls content. It's one of my favorite card games, and I am always happy to be able to make videos on it. So I probably will never play it on the channel unless I can figure out a way how to do that. I think there's a tabletop sim, a plugin that I can go get that I can do, and then I need to find friends for that, and I'm not entirely sure if any of my friends will be into that. So there's a whole list of things that I need to figure out in order to actually play for you guys. But and then there's also, although I want to give a, I guess, shout out to the YouTuber Tira Grace for figuring out how to do it, which is that he went into the website, turned all of the cards into a usable PNG, and then edited those into his videos while he and his friends played the game. I like that I got the effort concept, but I'm not entirely sure how well that's going to go for me because, I'm doing this by myself, and there's a lot of cards that I would need to punch out and make into a usable PNG. But I would not be able to do that by myself, and he has a team of friends to help him with that. So I don't think that's not really an option for me either. But in any case, that is going to do it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to check out my Twitter for updates, memes, and other such things. I would appreciate it if you were to go and check that out and go support me over there. Check out my Patreon if you want to help support future projects. It helps support me in a more hands-on way. Because it's a donation site thing that where you can essentially pledge to different tiers, and that helps me out tremendously by enabling me to make more content full-time for you guys, because that helps me get one step closer to doing that. Be sure and go and check out my, my Twitch if you want to. I stream Saturdays and Sundays. Be sure to go check that out. I would appreciate it if you were to go do that, especially since it helps me, again, get one step closer to full-time by virtue of the fact that it helps me get closer to affiliate, which helps me make ad revenue on my streams, which enables me to, make money that way, that helps a lot as well. As well, be sure to check out the videos linked in the end screen. The top video is the most recent video. It may or may not be this video. Whereas the bottom video is a video recommended to you based on what you've already seen from me. So if you want to try something new, or see more of what you like, then be sure to check both of those videos out. And finally, remember that I try to upload videos every day at 10:30 and 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. So just check my videos in the morning and in the afternoon. Odds are there will be something new there for you. So just check my channel, just keep an eye on my channel, and I'm sure most days, not Mondays, because Mondays is when I do my scheduling for the week, but Tuesday through Friday is when I upload, and then I stream at 3 o'clock on here as well. So just check those out. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!